Alrighty, YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. Wanted to do this video where I come on here and kind of give you guys my opinion on if we should keep or let go some of the 2025 free agents for the 49ers this upcoming offseason. I'm just going to be kind of going off of some of the most notable names that are expected to hit free agency this year. So I'll start with Charvarius Ward. I think you let him go. I think both parties involved probably are mutually going to agree to just kind of part ways. And it's not necessarily parting ways because he is a free agent this year. But he spoke to reporters the other day when the team did their locker room cleanouts, and he's clearly scarred from being in California with what has happened to, or with what did happen with his daughter passing away. And I can't even wrap my mind around like how somebody would even handle that. So I don't blame him one bit in that regard. I think, it makes sense for both parties. His wife has already fled California. She doesn't even like being in California anymore after what happened. Um Again, to me, like, he literally spoke to reporters and basically just kind of said like, yeah, we're not going to be back. Like, what's happened's happened. Every time I'm in California, I'm being reminded of what transpired with my daughter. Um, I think the 49ers just, I think they have interest in keeping him, but I do think, number one, that the Niners are not going to want to pay him what another team out there will pay him. And again, with what transpired with his daughter, he clearly does not want to be in California no more. So I think it just makes sense for both parties involved to kind of go their separate ways. So I would say let Charvarius Ward go. They need to get younger at corner. Deommodore Lenoir, the emergence of him this year has been huge. Renardo Green is a very good young player. Still has a lot of room to grow. Not a finished product, but I think the Niners feel good about their cornerback room without Charvarius Ward. Obviously, they'll probably end up signing a guy in free agency or drafting some more depth at that position. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on that one. Dre Greenlaw. I don't even need to talk about this too much. The Niners need to do everything in their power to keep him. Sign him to a 3-4 year deal, 5-year deal, whatever it takes. I don't think he's going to be like a top paid linebacker in this league. However, he's without a doubt probably in the $16 to $18 million per year range, kind of like a Patrick Queen contract of some sort. I think there probably are teams out there that will pay him top money, which scares me because the 49ers got to be really careful about, how much they're paying players this year because, they got to extend Purdy and things like that. And obviously, the salary cap, their cap room could look a lot different after paying Purdy. But to me, you got to do everything in your power to keep Greenlaw. Yeah, he's been injured. Yeah, he blew out his Achilles. He didn't play at all this year, really. But when he is on the field, he is a force to be reckoned with. His presence matters. He's a locker room guy. He's a leader of one of the leaders of the defense. Do everything in your power to keep Dre Greenlaw without a doubt. Next up, Isaac Yiadom. A lot of people were really excited when the 49ers signed him. I liked the signing, I'm not going to lie, but there was a lot of people like really stoked about that signing. I just didn't really see anything this year that led me to believe that he was a really good pickup for the 49ers. He's a good player. He's getting older. He's 29. He'll be 30 this year. I don't know, man. I don't think you keep him, to be honest. I think you can get younger. I think there's younger guys out there that you can get that are gonna make just as good as a difference on the defense as he did. And I don't really even think he made really that much of a difference. Just go younger at corner. Let him go to like a contending team. I think you let him walk. There wasn't like any holy crap moments that he made this year. And I'm not saying like don't sign him just because of that, but he just didn't do what I think the 49ers envisioned him doing and kind of making a certain impact. And yeah, I think you let him go. John Feliciano. He's old, man. He's old. He didn't play this year. He's very, very injury prone. Didn't play at all this year. I think he had an ankle injury or a knee injury or something like that, if I can remember right. He's 33 years old. The Niners need to get younger at or offensive line. There's no reason to bring back John Feliciano. I think he's without a doubt played his final year in San Francisco, or he's he didn't even play this year. But I think his time in San Francisco is over. Yeah, I don't see why you keep a guy like Feliciano around when he's that old and he's coming off of a pretty severe injury, significant injury. Yeah, I think you let that guy go. Josh Dobbs, I think you let him walk as well. I don't really see why the Niners need to keep him around. I don't even know why he would want to stick around after Kyle Shanahan played Brandon Allen over him in a few games this year. Yeah, Dobbs played in the final game of the year, but to me, yeah, I think that he probably feels very disrespected that Kyle played Brandon Allen over him. You can find a better backup quarterback, in my opinion. A guy that actually fits kind of this system better. I'm not saying that Josh Dobbs doesn't fit the system. I just think that there's a younger guy out there that I think the 49ers will like better over Dobbs. If not, bring him back. I'd be open to that. That leads me to my next one, though. I would say let walk or let go for Josh Dobbs. Brandon Allen, get this guy out of town, man. No reason for him to be on this team, in my opinion. He's literally just a guy. I don't know why the Kyle likes Brandon Allen so much. Makes no sense. He's 33 years old. He's only getting older. He's getting worse as a backup quarterback, and he's always been pretty bad for the most part. I don't know what Kyle sees in him. Let this guy go. Find another backup quarterback. Again, no reason to keep him. Kevin Givens. This is a pretty intriguing one because obviously, you know, the 49ers are set to release Javon Hargrave in the offseason. I think you keep Kevin Givens. I think he's done some pretty good things for the 49ers, filling in for injured guys. I think he's been a decently productive player in the rotation of our defensive linemen. He's only 28 years old. I think you keep him, actually. I like Kevin Givens. I think he's a good insurance piece. He's a good depth piece. The 49ers need depth at their defensive line. I would say you keep him. So I like Kevin Givens to stick around. Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles. Other than special teams, this I don't know why you keep him. I would say let go for Flannigan-Fowles. The emergence of D. Winters clearly hurts his role with the 49ers as kind of like the backup guy. I mean, when he came in, when Dre Greenlaw got hurt in the Super Bowl, there was literally absolutely zero coverage on Travis Kelce the remainder of the game. He played awful when he was playing in the Super Bowl. I don't know if the moment was too big for him, if he's just not that good of a player. In my opinion, he's really not that good of a player. He's been around for a long time. You know, I don't dislike him, but I just don't see a reason why you keep him when you got younger guys like D. Winters coming up. And I don't think Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles is a guy that kind of like flies all over the field like that. He could be. I don't see him play much, but yeah, I don't like him sticking around. I think the Niners need to kind of move on from him. Next up on the list, Aaron Banks. I think you got to let him go as well. I think the 49ers need to get somebody else in here aside from Dominique Pooney. I think Dominique Pooney's emergence kind of hurts his chances of even sticking around. I think the 49ers can definitely get younger and better at left guard. I don't like him sticking around. I think you got to let him go. Chris Conley. This is another one that I would say let go. He's 33 years old. You know, the 49ers drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first round last year. They plan on keeping Deebo Samuel. Brandon Ayuk should be back and healthy at some point next year, and I think, again, there's kind of no reason to keep him. Maybe on the practice squad as like an insurance policy, but he's 33 years old. If he was like 28 or 29, I could see that, but this guy's older, man. I think they can get younger and just as good at wide receiver as kind of like an insurance policy. So I would say you got to let Chris Conley go. However, he's a very smart player, and when he was out on the field during the Super Bowl and some other important games, he was a very, very trustable wide receiver for Brock Purdy, and I respect him for that and always will. But again, I think they can get younger at wide receiver here. And again, I mean, they drafted Pearsall. I don't think there's really a reason to kind of keep Conley around. They got Jacob Cowing. So yeah, I don't see why the 49ers keep him. Eric Saubert, I think you got to let him go as well. He's 31 years old. The 49ers literally only have one good tight end on their roster, and that's George Kittle. No reason. They've actually done really bad at figuring out a backup tight end for Kittle. They tried it with Braden Willis. Ross Dwelly wasn't bad when he played for us. Still wasn't like good enough in my opinion. There's another tight end I'm forgetting. Guy from Bama, Cam Latu is who I'm thinking of. He was bad too. 49, and they drafted him, I believe, in like the 3rd or 4th round. They just haven't been able to figure out backup tight end, and I don't know what it is, but yeah, I definitely don't think you keep Eric Saubert. I think you got to let him go. Ben Bartch, Ben Bartch. I think I like Ben Bartch, to be honest. He's dealt with injuries. He's still young though, 27. I think the 49ers could have found a future tackle in Ben Bartch. I like what I've seen from him. Enough for me to think that the 49ers should keep him. So I would say keep Bartch. Good depth piece as well. Could potentially be a starter next year, depending on how the offensive line kind of works out. Jalen Moore, I think you also keep him. I think he played well in place of Trent Williams when Trent Williams was hurt. The 49ers need tackles. Trent Williams is getting older. They need to figure out a right tackle guy too. They just gotta get better at offensive line. They're about to pay Brock Purdy. They got to protect their guy long term. Jalen Moore's a good depth piece. He's a good insurance policy. I like him. I think you keep him. He's only 27. And then lastly, I can't remember if I have already went over to Talanoa Hufanga or not, but you got to re-sign Hufanga. I think Hufanga and Greenlaw are the two most important players, two most important 49er pending free agents that the 49ers need to absolutely keep. Hufanga's injury history over the past couple of years has kind of hurt his contract. I think you can get him a lot cheaper than what I think the 49ers originally kind of thought. He's 25 years old. When he's on the field, he is a difference maker. In the back half of that secondary, he misses a lot of tackles. Yeah, he's not great in coverage, but he's a guy that can create turnovers, that can get interceptions. He's kind of like a ball hawk type of guy. He was just a few years ago before he got hurt. I think a healthy Talanoa Hufanga is absolutely worth keeping. And again, in my opinion, aside from Purdy, Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw are without a doubt the most important 49er free agents that they need to keep and retain. So those would be my keep or let go options for the 49ers going into the offseason. Obviously, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys disagree with any of these? Are there some other free agents out there that I'm kind of forgetting that we didn't talk about that you would prefer to keep or let go? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, go Niners, and I'll see you guys in the next one.